Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this edition of Jump Around Weekly. Today is November 16th. Extremely fired up today. This is going to be one of our best episodes yet. We've got the one and only coach, Dave Malecek from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse on our program, and it's going to be an awesome conversation. So first and foremost, Coach, thanks for coming on. I know you got a real busy day today. We appreciate having you. I hope everything's going well in your world.
You bet, Chris. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk to you guys about Wisconsin wrestling.
All right. Well, hey, let's not even talk about wrestling to start with. I'm fired up for you. You know, I've been following you now for a while. I'm very, very intrigued in your family life. You're the father of triplets, daughters who were some stud athletes. And just the first thing I want to start off with is, what's it like having three young women in your house that are very competitive and athletes? And how does that happen?
Yeah, Chris, you have kids and Jon has kids as well. I mean, I think, you try to do your best as parents, and we were not, we want you to do this. It was all them. And we taught them the other stuff. We taught them about hard work, having discipline, sacrifice, and just loving the process, and then listening to coaches. So it kind of came from a whole different perspective. And those three, actually I have four daughters. I have another daughter that's in 7th grade. And then I think it really kind of comes down to them wanting it. They wanted to do it. We never once had to say, hey, go get that workout in. As parents, we never had to say, hey, you probably should get that lift in tonight. I mean, it was all this discipline, this intrinsic motivation that they had, Chris, that was really fun on our end. But we didn't have to go to any clubs. We didn't have any special coaches. We didn't have a nutritionist. We didn't have all these special strength coaches. We just had a lot of family drive. We had a lot of family love that kind of showed them and supported them through the ups and downs. And yeah, they've had a pretty good high school career, been very successful, very modest young women that don't talk about it, just right into the next workout and keep trying to get better.
That's awesome. And I know today's a real special day for your family as they sign their letter of intent. Tell me a little bit about the recruiting process with your daughters, and were they dead set on going to the same school, and how's that bond work, and how difficult or easy was it?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously living in the state of Wisconsin almost their whole life. I mean, obviously we were big fans of Wisconsin and Coach Mack there at Wisconsin. And they kind of got in this process where they were looking at 3 different schools, to be honest with you, at the very beginning. And then last December, about a year ago, they went to a national meet, and Cora was apart from one of the triplets, was apart from the other 2 for about a week straight. And when they came home from that national meet, they all 3 went downstairs and came upstairs about an hour later and said, Mom and Dad, we want to go to the same college. We want to be together. We didn't like that being apart. So they all kind of decided. And that whole recruiting process, Chris and Jon, and I learned a ton through it. I mean, obviously there's some differences, Division I, Division III, but all those coaches in the Big Ten that were in contact with the girls, they started with about 24 schools, narrowed it down to 10. They got down their final 3 of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois, and trying to stay out of it as a parent and let them decide, because it was their journey. But really 3 strong women at all the programs. But I learned a lot from things coaches said, following through on things, and having the same story, and really just being heartfelt. And my daughters really appreciate the honesty and upfront. There was no games. There was no misconceptions. It was like honesty, and you're going to work your tail off, and this is what you need to do. There's going to be ups and downs. And so the thing that really struck it with all 3 of those coaches, especially with Wisconsin and Illinois, was the fact that the relationship they had built. And I know Chris and Jon, you guys do a great job building relationships. I try to do it as much as I can with our recruits, but really it kind of reinforced what we were doing here at UW-La Crosse to see that process with those recruits. And I think you can learn from a lot of other coaches.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, well, let's switch gears, man. And we've only been in the state a couple of years now, but I can tell you, you're doing one heck of a job there. I mean, there are so many kids that we that we're both recruiting all the time, and we run across kids all the time that are saying, hey, UWL is at my list, and I'm like, dang, that Coach Malecek is he needs to get out of here. But you're doing a heck of a job. And today, when I did some research on you, 15 years at UWL, 195 dual meet wins. That's incredible. You know what I mean? You're going to pass 200 dual meet wins this year. Hopefully, if we have a season. Talk to me about how special your last 15 years at UWL have been, and maybe if you have 1 or 2 really special moments that you've had. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, Chris, I think I appreciate you saying those things, but really this whole state, we want to make Wisconsin wrestling better, right? It's why you guys came to the state. It's why you came to that university. We want to make Wisconsin. There's enough kids out there that young men and now young women that can go to your programs, and everybody can be successful. But I do, I take great pride in this place, and being here the 15 years. I think that the biggest part that I've probably changed the most in the last so many years is just really trying to figure out what fits best for UW La Crosse, what fits me. I mean, I've been coaching a total of 27 years and 15 years here at UWL, and really trying to figure out what makes it tick here at UWL, my kind of program, my style, and everything else. And it took me a while. I'm kind of a slow learner, originally from Iowa. It just takes a little longer, a little more stubborn maybe than most people. And trying to do things when I first got here and try to emulate things we did in Northern Iowa, maybe things we did at Wartburg or things I'd done at other programs or saw what other programs are doing, but really had to find my niche, find out what made it click here at UWL. And there's been a lot of special ones, as we talked earlier about one of the alums that you guys both know that was here this weekend, but we've had numerous guys come through here that been very proud. We've been fortunate enough to coach 11 national champs and 55 All-Americans and, even more academic All-Americans. But I'd say some of those teams where we finished second as a team in 08 and in 2010 and chance to win a championship was pretty special. And there's a lot of those guys that aren't on the wall for All-Americans or even conference champs, but came through and are out now in the medical field and being chiropractors and coaches and everything else that pretty proud of. But it's a unique place here. We love the state of Wisconsin, and getting that opportunity of knowing you guys coming to the state, bringing that energy and like what we can do as coaches, whether it's D1 or D3, right, Jessica? We all want to make Wisconsin wrestling better. And I think that, that when we're all on that same page and we're all working to make it better, it's just going to take Wisconsin to a whole nother level.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, I can tell you before I pass it on to Jon here, man, I appreciate our friendship more than you know. Jon and I talk about you a lot. In a good way. And I enjoy working with you and growing this state. And, it's going to be an awesome ride when we, the goal we've always talked about was, wouldn't it be nice if we could bring home a national championship in every division 1, right, 2, and 3 to the state of Wisconsin? It'd be unbelievable. So you're the man. We love it, man. And Coach Reader will ask you the tough questions now.
All right. That's good.
All right. Well, Coach, I can't echo Coach Bono enough. I've got a ton of respect for you and really look forward to today. First thing, I want to go all the way back to where you cut your teeth. Xavier High School.
Oh.
Right? You're a head coach. Yeah. I want to talk about the lessons you learned early in your coaching career and how it's helped you be the successful coach you are today.
Man, I'll tell you what, Jon, like I learned so much from there. And it's a little like your guys' story. We're coming from South Dakota State and doing everything, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll even go back farther than that, Jon. And I was at Alter, really a small town way in Northwest Iowa. And I was there as a assistant varsity football, 7th and 8th grade football, head wrestling, junior high track. And I also drove school bus. That was my first year out of college. So you guys are training for world and Olympic medals. I'm out driving route number 6 in the gravel roads of Iowa. That's no lie. That's the total truth. And like craziness of doing those things, but cutting your teeth there, you kind of find out you got to do everything. And early on in my career, I was kind of finding out like, man, I wanted to get to a different level. I wanted different kids to work with. I had some great young men that come through that I still keep in touch with, which is crazy all the way back from 1994. But moving on to Xavier too, like starting a program, it was 2 Catholic schools, Regis and LaSalle, coming together in Cedar Rapids to make Xavier. My last year there was the first year Xavier's together, but putting good. And I didn't teach in the building. I taught at another building, an elementary PE, K through 5. That's when I started drinking coffee and getting all excited about life. But man, just the different phases you go in your life, right? It's your journey. And my journey started with that and like working with kids that didn't know stance in motion to a guy like Mike Sheedek, who won 2 state titles, ended up wrestling at Northern Iowa. So we had just all range of guys. And then getting that final opportunity, Jon, to move to Wartburg College when Jim Miller, who was my college coach, asked me to come up there to Wartburg.
That's great. Coach, moving forward a little bit now, you run one of the most premier wrestling camps in the country, right? I've had the privilege to come up there and watch you and your staff. It's run first class. Those kids get a first class experience. Talk about how you form that and kind of the vision moving forward for MALACEK wrestling camps.
Right. And so we wanted to do it at a unique situation. Everybody goes to dorms or goes to college campuses, which is great. But we had an opportunity, met a guy. You know how it is, you guys. I meet Jon Reader, I meet Chris Bono, and we get talking. And next thing, hey, I got an idea. Let's run with this. And it was just a guy coming up and introducing me to Mike Kaminsky, the owner of Chula Vista. And next thing you know, first year we had 10 teams there. And this past year 2 years ago, we had 65 teams and over 1,000 kids. But the big thing, John, that we take great pride in that program, or in that camp, that we move forward, that we want to run a first-class show. We want the athletes to feel important. We want the coaches to feel important. We want our clinicians. We take our time. We're not about numbers. We want to make sure that you feel like you had a great experience there. I mean, what kid doesn't want to go to a water park, John? Like, yeah, you were going down the slide screaming like a little kid. And your kids can be there. Coaches can be there. And I think it's one of the most important things. And plus, they're getting some great technique from some of the best. You know, I know you guys are both on schedule for this summer to work at our camp. We're very excited about that. We've had some great clinicians. We don't bring in guys that, and this is a big point moving forward. Like, there's certain people we bring in because we want them to teach. We want them to be accessible to our athletes. It's not a big time. We just want to take your picture and throw it all over social media. I want, you know, Jon Reader, Chris Bono come in, like, spend time with our guys, spend time with the athletes, spend time with the coaches, ask the questions, say hi to the athletic trainers, say hi to the people filling the Gatorade jugs. And we'll make it a family atmosphere. You walk by the gear, it's all my family. My mom's there, nieces, nephews, daughters, they're all working. Man, it's a family atmosphere. It's no different than how you guys run your college program there at Wisconsin. We have great pride in it, and it's been pretty cool how it's taken off, and we hope to get going again this summer.
That's great. Jess, we'll shoot it over to you for some fan questions.
Yeah, we've got a couple questions in from fans, but I thought it'd be good for us to just talk about with Coach Malecek. How long have you guys all known each other? Where did you guys meet within the wrestling community?
Well, I think it's been. I'll go first, Chris. You probably don't know, but I've followed their career. Obviously, they're young. You probably can't guess this, but they're younger than I am. I know we all look about the same age, but they are younger than I am. And obviously I followed their career and just following them through at Iowa State. There's a really friendly hatred towards Iowa State with coming from Northern Iowa and wrestling in Northern Iowa. But now that we're all in the state of Wisconsin, I really like these guys. And so I had some great battles back in the day. These guys might know these guys named Dan Troop, and I wrestled, I think, 13 times in college from Iowa State that I battled with him. I think he won way more than I beat him, but and just a great young man that all those guys I've gotten to know from Iowa State. But I've known these guys probably more since he's been at South Dakota State, you guys there. But then now the last 3 years that he's been in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I've known Coach. We actually were on teams that competed against each other. Right? I don't know if you even knew that, right? What'd you leave in 94, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I was on those Iowa State teams when you were battling Troop.
Oh,
in 93, 94.
Okay.
So we were and I knew the name real well, and I knew Troop always had to he wasn't real happy when he had to go up against you. We had to listen to him, because it was we always expected a tough battle, but he was always upset that he had to go wrestle someone really good from UNI.
Chris, who did you wrestle from Northern Iowa? Do you remember?
Man,
Kilgard, maybe it was.
No,
Dave's
he's way
brother.
younger than me.
No, that was Dave, his brother.
Dave. So I was a 50 pounder. Who would have been there? I don't remember.
The other Kilgard. We had two other Kilgard brothers.
I just know. Were you on the team that beat Bobby Douglas's first year in Cedar Falls?
Yep.
Right. That was Bobby's first year.
Yep. Came down to heavyweight. I got beat by Troop in overtime.
I lost that match too. I lost that match as a freshman, so I don't know who that would have been.
You probably had to walk home.
That wasn't. He was. I thought he was sending me back to Florida after that. I didn't know if I had a spot on the team. That was like 93, right? Yeah. Or no, maybe 94. 94 because I redshirted. So that's probably 94.
Yeah. That was in West Gym.
Yep.
So great history between all of you. When Coach Malecek, when you knew that, when you heard that Coach Bono and Coach Reader were coming to Wisconsin, what were your initial thoughts? What were you looking forward to with them being here at the helm of the Badgers?
Well, I think it's just that biggest thing that they were gonna bring a new level to the state of Wisconsin, and that's not saying anything to the coaches prior. It's just like opening up and like, hey, how can we help? How can we make the state better? It's not about UW La Crosse, it's not about Wisconsin, it's about the state of Wisconsin, and like, how can we make wrestling better here? And so having that energy and moving forward, and like, you knew when these two were coming in, like, hey, hang on, because they're gonna go, we're gonna have some new ideas. And then the other part is they were probably more approachable, probably more open to, like, whether it's a phone call or text. I texted both those guys, and usually they'll get right back to you. And that part I appreciate, the correspondence. But you just knew, and that's exciting. And sometimes us older coaches who've been here a while, you kind of get going the same pattern. You love new ideas and new energy, and it's been great ever since.
Coach was one of the very first ones that texted me after the job got announced. I remember that. It was like one of the first ones when it was official. I was like, "Oh my, this is great." You know what I mean? The state of Wisconsin, and so I remember that you were one of the very, very first ones to congratulate us.
Awesome.
Well, and for Chris and Jon, when you knew that you were moving to Wisconsin, moving to this program, was it important for you to reach out to other collegiate coaches in the state? And what were your plans regarding how you might build up those connections and how that amplifies what's happening here in Wisconsin?
There's no doubt about it, Jess. We actually got together as a group, right? We tried to get every college. We got together once as a, and we tried to have like every coach show up at one place in any division, and have like a little talk about your program, talk about your needs, your wants, and just celebrate college wrestling. You know, and it didn't get too crazy, but it's something that's still on my agenda. I'd like to do it where we can bring all of our fan bases together and celebrate wrestling in Wisconsin. Like Coach said, I think the most important thing here is growing the state of Wisconsin, the clubs, the high schools, the colleges, you name it. We want this state to be the #1 state in the country for wrestling, because if that happens at the youth level, the middle school, the high school, all of our programs are going to survive. All of our programs are going to do really well. And then we're going to have a lot of fun, doing it together.
Yeah. And Coach Reader, when you knew that you were moving to Wisconsin, what were your thoughts in regards to connecting with other college coaches like Coach Malecek?
Well, I know right off the bat, talking to Coach Malecek, he's a fantastic coach, but he's an even better person. And when you get around him, the energy, it's contagious, right? So when you get these guys in a room, it's powerful, right? And being in the state of Wisconsin, no doubt about it, our goal is to make this state the #1 country or #1 state in the country. And Coach Malecek is doing a fantastic job, and we've been bouncing ideas off each other, and we're really looking forward to the future.
For Dave, we talked a lot about how our program is dealing with COVID and just trying to get ready for the season. How have you guys been dealing with things at lacrosse and adapting to quote unquote the new normal of what we're all dealing with?
Yeah, it's been crazy for everybody out there in the United States, right? And you just kind of take one day at a time. That's been our whole thing. We get today. We've showed a lot of gratitude that we actually just get today, and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow with their decisions that they're making, but through the administration. But we're going to take every day. We're doing everything we can with our surveys and temp checks and get COVID testing and just being really smart about everything. It's a serious pandemic. I mean, none of us have ever been in this situation before. And obviously, I've talked to Jon and Chris. We need wrestling. You know, it's a big part of us to be healthy, to be emotionally healthy and happy. That we got to have that field house behind you, Jessica, that picture you have behind you of that rocking and have wrestling going, but we also got to be safe. We got to do everything we possibly can. And so each day it's a new norm. Each day it's a new exciting part. I'm here today and hoping to get our workout in this afternoon. Yep.
What are you and the team looking forward to this season when you can hopefully finally get back on the mats?
Well, we're gonna do something no one else in the state is doing. We're gonna host the NCAA championships for our 4th time, March 12th and 13th in La Crosse Center. And then we also got the bid for the 2024 national tournament. So you can mark your calendars out there, but the downside, it's always the same weekend as the Big Ten championships, right? And so that's okay. But yeah, we're really looking forward to hosting at home. It's great for our alums. It's great for our fans. We've broken the attendance record 3 other times that we've hosted. So every time we host, the great state of Wisconsin gets behind all the schools, all 6 schools in Division III that have wrestling. They travel well, and obviously being in the Midwest, we're gonna have a great fan following here. Downtown La Crosse and La Crosse Center, they just put $42 million into the arena. We're definitely looking forward to that. And so I just think there's so much going on in the sport. We just need to have that opportunity to compete after January 1st and really battle it out in our conference and have regionals and nationals. It's a shortened season, but just that opportunity. We got a great group of guys that I think are really excited about it. Some of the early polls came out. I mean, we're ranked in 1st or 2nd in some of the polls. And so rankings don't mean a whole lot to me, but the fans like it and get people talking about UW lacrosse wrestling.
When you hear that there's big events like that for Coach Bono and Coach Reader, when you hear that we're hosting an NCAA championship right there for the Division III colleges right here in Wisconsin, how do you think that helps grow further in Wisconsin? We've talked about just how do we build the health of wrestling in Wisconsin. So hosting those events, whether we're hosting something at the Division I level or lacrosse is hosting something at D3, how does that help just wrestling as a whole?
I think it's amazing. First of all, it shows you for coach to be able to host an NCAA championship, he's doing something right. Number one. Number two, every kid dreams of winning a national championship. Anybody in the sport of wrestling dreams of winning, whether it's Division I, Division II, whatever it is. So for all these kids in the state of Wisconsin to go to a national championship event and see kids fulfilling their dream and getting their hands raised and jumping in coaches' arms and celebrate national championships, it's going to motivate. It's going to have youngsters looking up to these kids that can be role models and someday say, I want to be that guy. And that hopefully, gets people from the youth to our coaches to our administrators fired up that you can, you see people winning national championships live in front of your own eyes. It'll help grow our state for sure. In closing, we'll do this, Coach. I want to make a promise to you. If you are anywhere close to the state of Wisconsin, when you're going up for that 200th win, man, I want to be there in the stands. I want to watch you get it, and I want to celebrate with you. So
That'd be awesome.
We're fired up. That's a big accomplishment, and we're fired up to be for me to be for you to be my friend, and I'm excited for you, and I appreciate you coming on the show. And
Yeah, you're welcome.
I can't wait to keep following your successes.
I appreciate it. And I was really looking for it. I'd done my research. I knew Jon was going to ask me questions either about bowling scores, both of you guys talking about bowling scores, or who does my hair, who's my haircut, who's my barber. You didn't ask either one. So maybe some other time next year I'll get back on the show. But I appreciate all that you guys are doing for the state of Wisconsin. And there's some amazing coaches, Division III, Division II, Corey over there at Parkside, and then obviously you guys at Division I. So just real proud of this state. We want to keep it. All the best wrestlers right here in the state of Wisconsin.
Amen. So, well, again, we appreciate you, Coach. That's all we have today. So for everybody out there that's following along, thanks for your questions. We'll be back again next week. And, as always, start your week off right and jump around.